I had one little breakfast burrito, microwave kind. I said, you know what? I'll just have one more. I don't want to wait until after the show. Now I'm kind of like, I should have 1.5 would have been right.
Yeah, I'd have been fine with one. But that's not what we're here for. We are here to talk baseball. What's going on, everybody? Live before lock, Sunday edition. July 14th, man, this year is going so quick. 9-game slate today. Doesn't appear, at least as of my last look, that we have any weather concerns.
I thought that yesterday, and then all of a sudden we had a multi-hour delay there in Colorado, which was fun. I stayed up till 2 a.m. watching that game. I finally gave up, and then they still scored 2 runs after I went to bed at the end of the 7th.
I was also up at 2 o'clock in the morning. I was not watching the Colorado Rockies game. I was being alerted by my wife that our pug pooped in our master bedroom while we were sleeping. That is the third time he's done it in the past week and a half.
Oh, how old?
He 10? Shy of 10? Not this is obviously not typically his MO, but it has been his MO as of late. Not fun. How's your weekend?
It's been good. It's been really, really good. I lost Friday. Lost about $100, but last night made about 500 on NASCAR and another 500 on baseball. So hey, I'm up $1,000. Well, netting it out about $800. So, but I'll take it.
That'll work.
I'll take it.
That'll work.
Because I'm the last of the big spenders, and I don't. That's a pretty good ROI.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. I'm ready to talk about this slate. I like it. I kind of like the pitching, because I think that people are making decisions that I don't want to make, and I'm usually happy with that.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm ready to dive in if you are.
I am. I'm just going to load our latest round of projections into the old Fantasy Cruncher, which is rather easy to do. Oh, we didn't do our normal stuff.
Oh, I was about to hit it.
All right, so I'll drop the link in.
Multiple things to hit before we truly get started. Live before lock is the promo code. 50% off your first month with us. Any monthly package you choose, including packages with Fantasy Cruncher. So if you want to check us out, all you have to do, use the promo code live before lock. It's one big word. Don't put any spaces or that won't work. But you'll get 50% off. EMAC has dropped in the Spotlight Hitters and Stacks article for today. We'll give a little pluggy plug to Yahoo for being the presenting sponsor of our strategy show, of the Deeper Dive, and of the Early Bird podcast. If you guys want to sign up at Yahoo, link is in the article. Use the promo code AWESOMO. Get up to $30 in Yahoo Sports rewards points. There was a time where that did not flow off the tongue, and now it just feels like normal. Gotta love it. I have my home run pick already chambered, but I'm going to let you go first when we get there at 12:30, because I think it'll make my pick more fun. So
I have 2 locked and loaded. So.
Okay, they might even be the same too. So here's the deal. We've got Jake Degrom today. 10-8 on DK, 10-8 on FanDuel, $58 on Yahoo. Is there any scenario in your mind where he is not the best option today? Ignoring ownership.
No, not at all. I only did one Yahoo lineup today because I was focusing on DK, and my lineup does have Degrom in it, and it also has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Cincinnati Reds. It's not a bad lineup.
Not okay. I'm intrigued. Yeah, so I wake up this morning and I'm looking at it. I was like, oh, cool. Jake Degrom against the Marlins in Miami. Last time this happens, we got yelled at for recommending Jake Degrom against the Marlins in Miami. This very well could be the best on-paper matchup that you can put together in baseball. Maybe if you want to say that if this game was against the Giants in San Francisco, but you're not worried about this Marlins team. They lack in power. They're facing, well, let's just say one of the 5 best pitchers in baseball.
Fair.
In one of the best pitchers' parks in the game. It's hard for it to get much better than this. Marlins projected for 2.8 runs today. Just absolutely brutal. I'd be really interested to see what this line would be if the Mets offense were like a different team's offense. How do you want to manage Jake Degrom being close to 50% owned?
All right, so I did my initial 4-4s about an hour ago just to see what would happen. And I better set the filter for just the main slate. I put Degrom in at 50, and I got 50.
Sure.
So I was comfortable with that because I'm also getting the bats I want. The overalls, I've got Sandy Alcantara in there at 40, and I think I ended up with like 30%.
Okay.
I've got Homer Bailey. I'm allowing him to come in at 35. I've got Greinke at 25, Tanaka at 20. I went 20 with Tyler Beede just because he's cheap, and it gives me a little bit of a pivot off of Bailey or Alcantara.
Sure.
And those are the only guys I set above 10.
Okay.
I think I mentioned Tanaka at 20. So everybody else I'm just getting just a little bit of, but I don't like any of them. I mean, you've got Shane Bieber, who is 10,500. Why don't you just go to Degrom or Greinke? I don't want to go too much Degrom and Greinke because then I don't get the bats I want.
Yeah.
And there's no forced spot today because they're not playing the 3:00 games on either of the main sites, which is Texas and Coors Field. Hey, shout out to Fantasy Draft, managing to go with the Texas game, but couldn't wait 5 minutes to put in the Rockies game. I just don't understand anymore. Just be consistent. That's all I want. Just be consistent. So Yahoo is where I'm getting my Rockies fix. But where are the good offenses? The Nationals, sure.
Yeah.
Philly, sure.
Yeah.
Depending on who's in there for the Giants against Yoeli Shashin, yeah. The Yankees, well, they're going against a ground ball pitcher, 60% ground ball rate for Stroman. That's not always a recipe for goodness unless you're
he's not a guy that gets blown up all that often.
Unless you're Aaron Judge. We need a Sean V take on this one. 7 for 16, 3 home runs, I think. I looked that up.
No one needs that take.
Okay.
And plus we have the Rays.
Takes, I have a new T-shirt.
Oh, no.
Do you want to see it?
I mean, pretty much no, but I have a feeling I'm going to see it anyway.
This is a good one.
Okay, better. Way better.
Baseball, EMAC. My wife made that one.
Way better.
She got this. She now makes me practice T-shirts because we have the full heat press, the Cricut printer, and all sorts of vinyl and heat transfer stuff. So she got a bunch of cheap T-shirts. So when she needs to practice with new material, I get a new T-shirt. So
here's what I'll say. You've showed me 2 T-shirts so far. This is the only good one. And I don't mean that from a quality perspective from her. Let's put it that way. Yeah, there's a lot of offense on this slate. There are a lot of teams that are picking up ownership at spots where I wouldn't expect it, like the Kansas City Royals or the Tigers. I know why they're getting there. You mentioned Shane Bieber before. Really scary spot against the Twins. They certainly strike out quite a bit, but he's got some struggles against lefties, and they are aggressive, very aggressive struggles. Let me just pull this up just because I want to make sure that I can reference it. So Shane Bieber against righties this season, 26.5% K rate, ex WOBA and WOBA, in the 280s. ISO in like the 150 area. Looking good. Shane Bieber against left-handed hitters. 29% K rate. Looks downright tasty. Can't complain there. He's got a 217 ISO allowed over the past 2 seasons, a 208 X ISO, and he's in like the 340s area for WOBA. Lefties hit him pretty well, and Cleveland's Park plays up to left-handed power. He is a high-risk, high-reward option, in my opinion, today. Because getting through Kepler, obviously Luis Arraez is not a big power bat, but Kepler, Polanco, Marwin Gonzalez, Jake Cave even, who isn't a great hitter, but isn't a complete zero in the pop department. I could see Bieber having a decent game, but giving up a couple long balls.
Did you see any of the results from this game yesterday?
Mm-mm.
Would it shock you to find out that Max Kepler had 2 home runs in his first 2 at bats against the Bauer?
That's the only thing that I know that happened.
That makes
it does shock
5
me.
at bats. That's amazing.
Yes. Yeah. All the BVP people are probably just, toweling themselves off.
Yeah, but Bauer's quote was, "Hey, he's seeing me very well right now. You know what's going to happen? At some point, he's going to go 0 for 10 with 7 strikeouts." He goes, but right now, he's got my number.
That's the piece that always intrigues me by that whole debate, because let's just say that these were the first 5 at-bats of Max Kepler's career. And all 5 of those landed as home runs for Trevor Bauer. Same setup, but they're the only times he's ever seen them. I don't think that anybody on the planet is going to be like, he will only home, because he's homered in every at-bat, he will only homer in every at-bat moving forward. Like, even the most ridiculous BVP people are not thinking that that is just going to go on in perpetuity. So they're willing to regress it. Most people are willing to regress it in their head. But it seems like everybody is just more willing to regress it incorrectly. That's the piece that's always... Like, I'd have more respect for somebody to be like, no, he's just going to homer every time forever. Because at least you're sticking to it. But if you're willing to do some regression, just do it the right way. That's all you got to do. That's why I don't like BVP. My rant's over. My rant's over.
Totally agree. Shout out to Alex Matos in chat. He in the YouTube chat. You get behind the paywall. He won $50K last night.
Ooh, get that paper.
Yeah, I believe he said Adam was his favorite tout, but Adam wasn't doing content yesterday. Well, he did the article behind the paywall, which helped me do well. Shout out to Keller. But yeah, $50K. That's awesome.
That's not too shabby, you know. We've got Greinke right in that Bieber territory, but again, just at least on DK, just too close to Degrom. These guys are coming in about half the ownership, so like I understand it. If you're playing 150 lineups, you're going to have some Bieber, you're going to have some Greinke. I am as well. They're my second and third favorite options from a pitching perspective, but I think a lot of guys are getting slept on. I think Tanaka's going under-owned a bit. Mm-hmm. I expect to be over the field there. But I really want to know what your thoughts are on the second most owned guy today on DraftKings. Not any of those, quality arms that we've named. How do you feel about Julie Chassin being 23% owned today?
That's crazy talk. So here, where's my little notes here? So I said that let's see, Chassin has struggled against opposite-handed hitters. Big park upgrade for San Francisco. Over his last 575 righty-lefty matchups, Chassin has allowed a 340 WOBA, a 170 ISO, 11% walk rate, 14.4% strikeout rate. That's not good. He's also had issues this year now where he used to shut down righties. Not so much this year. So his last 2 seasons look pretty good. This year plus last year look pretty good. 600 righties, 282 WOBA, 140 ISO. But if we look at just this season, it's horrible. It jumps to a 370 WOBA, 222 ISO. He's actually worse this year against righties than he is lefties.
I would be very happy if I ended up with almost 0 Chassin. Yeah. And I fully expect to end up with more Giants than the field. Not something I'm terribly happy about from time to time, but I don't know. They were good last week. Can't do it.
Oh.
Is there anybody that we haven't really touched on from a pitching perspective that you think is getting overlooked? Are you a big Tom Eshelman guy today by any chance?
No, he's up from, I think he's in AAA Norfolk. He's mediocre at best. He's done a handful of starts. They're not that great. He's sacrificial lamb at this point, I think.
I don't disagree. Can't imagine it. Currently projected for 5.1 fantasy points for Alex Baker. That's not a big number.
That would be 4 more than Alex had Freeland for last night.
That's so brutal. Oh my God, that's so brutal.
He didn't project him for negative, though. I want to see us project somebody negative.
He had somebody negative.
His model goes negative.
So he had someone a week or 2 ago just into the negatives. It eventually ended up being a positive number, but at one point in time during the day, it was negative. He mentioned it on the Yahoo show, I believe.
All right. Homer Bailey. Okay, so I'm getting 30% Homer Bailey. That was a little bit of a surprise.
That is a healthy amount of Homer Bailey. Give me your thoughts on Homer Bailey holistically. What are you thinking there? Obviously, it is the Tigers. Fantastic matchup. Can't really get too mad about it.
Yeah, Tigers price point. I don't believe in Chassin, and then it's really coming down to the Tigers. are not that great. What is the weather there?
I love that I get told that I talk about
60.
BVP too much, and then this guy's like, "Is Tampa Bay going to go overlooked?" Clearly, they have over 20% of the ownership today, almost twice as high as every other team. But yeah, they're getting slept on. Maybe we're paying attention to the wrong stuff. Unbelievable. Sorry, I cut you off.
No, that's okay. It's 90 degrees with 60% humidity. That does not bode well in Kauffman Field.
No,
or
it
Kauffman
doesn't.
Stadium. Tiny little breeze out to left a little bit, but this is all about going against Detroit, and they are. I mean, look at it at this point. Miggy's not even in the lineup today. I don't know who Harold Castro is. I literally have never heard of him. I've heard of the other guys.
Would you like a little bit of information on Harold Castro?
Oh boy, did he go to high school nearby in Wilmington?
Oh no, if he did, I still don't know. Via Steamer, he projects for a 67 weighted runs created plus and a sub 100 ISO. So really bringing a lot to the table in the 2-hole.
Ooh, yikes!
Not great. He's almost as bad as their leadoff hitter.
Let's see. This will be the third time Bailey has faced Detroit. He's gone 12 innings with a 200 batting average against 1.5 ERA, 10 strikeouts. That's neither here nor there, but it's nice to see that there has been success. He has not pitched against them in a month, so they have not really seen him recently. His last start against them was the 13th of June. So no real recent, how we always, we don't always say, but sometimes it's concerning if, a lot of times pitchers end up back-to-back home and home starts, just the way that the schedule goes. That's not coming into play.
Not at all. I'm really excited for this. Something about this slate just feels good. I'm really nervous to run this first crunch because I have a feeling it's going to spit out like 45% Trevor Williams or something like that, and I'm going to have a panic attack on the air.
I did not get much Tampa Bay, so I got to go look at our stacks too.
Interesting.
That's one of those things that I'll rectify just because we've got plenty of time here.
They are north of 20% in ownership right now. Next closest team on FanDuel is at 10.8. The Phillies are at 14.8. This is just the Rays are the chalkiest chalk that ever chalked today.
McCod was asking. He said he thought that the Phillies number seemed a little high. I don't think it really does. I mean,
they're my number 2 team, so it doesn't seem weird to me.
Yeah, I mean, there is no great offensive spot. I mean, them against Anibal Sanchez, sure. Tampa Bay against Baltimore, absolutely. And then Detroit, okay, they're cheap and it's Homer Bailey. KC, it's Jordan Zimmerman, who's just putrid at this point.
Yeah.
He has over a 6 ERA in his last 40 starts combined. I'm
pretty sure that's not good.
No.
I could be wrong. I've been wrong before. I don't like to talk about it. There was a bad day. But yeah, he's just bad. He's really, really bad. Some of this pitching today, for as good as some of these starters are at the top, the Tom Eshelman, Jordan Zimmerman area, I mean, Dick Arrieta is getting no love today. He has the opportunity to get absolutely blasted. There's some bad stuff at the bottom. I don't love Tyler Beede, but I like him the most out of everything at the bottom. I certainly like him more than Chacin. It's going to be a fun one. I miss baseball. I'm happy that it's back. I'm ready to get back into the swing of things and dive in for this next. We got probably 8 weeks left, something like that, before it starts to get really wonky.
Last day of the season, September 29th. I looked that up yesterday. We have 80 days left, basically.
And then slowly getting into the footballs and the basketballs and the hockeys. We run it back again.
Oh, shout out to Fast Eddie. I haven't been able to do the summer league, but they killed it last night.
Yeah.
Killed it. The big contest, they went and looked, and our guys had won something like $18,000 of the top $20,000 in the prize pool.
It's awesome.
People in the summer league Slack chat.
It's so awesome. He's been killing himself on that. So shout out to Fast Eddie for cranking out just a massive, massive summer league product. We cornered the market on it, that's for sure.
Yeah, it's been pretty impressive.
I don't play it as well. No time. I very much enjoy the All-Star break for what it is. And the amount of work that it takes to play Summer League and what you have to pay attention to, that is not what I need during that 4-day stretch. And at that point, my ship sailed.
Yeah, and that's my busy time at my new job. Instead of being the end of the year, it's middle of the year because we are on a mid-year fiscal year. So
gotcha.
I was at work till 7 almost every night. And then I came home and went to work. Except for Thursday, I came home and I went to bed. I was asleep at 7:15.
Those are the good days, though. Those are the good days.
My brain felt like it was melting. I came home, dropped my car off for service, took the wife, picked up some dinner, ate it at the restaurant, and got home and I was like, I'm going to bed. I got nothing left.
I hear you.
Slept for 10 hours. It was awesome.
Sleeping, that sounds so appealing to me right now. I'm running my crunches now. I guess I'll just have to swap out of that Giants lineup if and when it comes in.
How much Cubs did you get?
Cubs?
Cubs.
Haven't run it yet. They are my 4th ranked stack. I anticipate getting a lot more on FanDuel than I do on DK.
I'm getting 20. I think I may shift a little of that over to Tampa Bay. I think would probably be prudent.
Yeah, I'm really anxious to see where I end up on Tampa Bay. My expectation is that I come in quite a bit under the field, but still as one of my more owned stacks. Just because, to get to 20%, 20+% of a team on a 9-game slate, 20% for one team out of 18 teams, that's a big number. I'm just not sure that I'm going to get that high. But we shall see. In the middle of running the crunches, I actually had to rerun the DraftKings crunch because I closed the tab. It's the first time I've done that, I think.
Yeah, and now these are my 4-4, so it's like it's juiced a little bit because it affected. I mean, it is. They are 20% of my player pool, but it's not.
Are you playing on FanDuel today?
I am not.
Okay. I was going to take a look at those ownerships. Degrom, 35%. We've got Bieber and Greinke both at 11, and then everybody else is under 10. I expect to be most over the field on Tanaka of everybody. He's only at 7%. But the fourth most owned guy on FanDuel right now, Adam Wainwright. Is he a guy that you've looked at all today?
God, no, don't play him. How many lefties are in the lineup? Marte, Escobar, Avila, or Alex Avila, sorry. Damn, I'm not counting Vargas and Escobar. So that kind of hurts. Wainwright's been bad against lefties this year. He struggled at the beginning of the season, but for a 37-year-old, doing pretty solid work, I guess, if we want to go that way. Against righties, the last 200 he's faced 300 WOBA, 140 ISO. Against lefties, he's faced 162, 400 WOBA, 240 ISO. Walking 13% of them, 45% hard hit rate. The only thing kind of saving him is he does have a 51% ground ball rate against them, but it's not good times.
No, not good times at all.
But Marte, Escobar, Alex Avila, not to be confused with Alex Avila.
Wait, what? Are there more than one of that guy?
No, but I forget how it is. He goes by Avila, and his dad was I don't know if he still is, but was the GM of Detroit. And he was Avila, or vice versa. I forget. It was what the people in the media were calling him. They laugh about it. It's kind of like Jan Mahimny and Ian Mahimny.
Oh, gotcha.
It's just one of those where like that's what they called me, and I just went with it.
Fair enough. So I just
it's like MacPherson versus McPherson. It's like close enough.
Call me EMAC and make it easier. Yeah. Just finished my FanDuel crunch, so I'm refreshing now. We could talk a little bit about those exposures. DraftKings is still finishing up, but almost there.
So I do have 10% Wainwright. So I tweak things a little bit. So Degrom 50, Alcantara. See, it's Alcantara. There's another good name. It's actually Alcantara for most of the people, but
it is for me. That's for sure.
The broadcasters call him Alcantara.
I know. And Adam likes to point that out all the time. I don't know why he likes being wrong over and over again.
I don't know. But Masahiro Tanaka, 20%. Homer Bailey down to 18. I'm happy with that. Greinke went up a little bit to 17. I do have Jose Quintana, not to be confused with Jose Quintana. But Quintana,
tomato.
Quintana is 10%. So I can live with that.
Yeah.
Chacin 10. Bieber 10, Beatty 8, Jose Barrios, not to be confused with Berrios, 7%, and T-Dub, Trevor Williams, somehow one lineup.
There you go. All right, FanDuel exposures. Pretty much exactly what I was expecting. Jake Degrom, 54%. He's at 35% right now. Today feels like one of those days where I should have a lot of him. He's projected for 6.7 more points than Shane Bieber in Alex's model, and 11.7 more than Greinke. There's just a really big gap between Degrom and everybody else, but their price tags make it seem like there's not. I got to 19% Greinke, no problem there. 16% Tanaka, as I suspected. I would have a little bit more than the field, but I basically only have Degrom, Greinke, and Tanaka, and I have no complaints there whatsoever. Now, from a hitting perspective, again, as I suspected, only 14% to the Rays. We have them projected for 21. That's where I want to be. I can't get north of 21 today on one team, particularly the Rays. Looks like I'm quite a bit over the field on the Indians and the Blue Jays, but I'm going to walk that back a bit because I don't think that I need 14% aggregate ownership to the Blue Jays when they're owned at 1.2. Seems a bit aggressive. So we can dial that one back a bit. Almost dong time. I'm kind of excited. I'm really curious to see who you take. I hope it's not who I'm looking at, but if it is, I've got a backup plan. But I have a sneaky suspicion that your picks and your backup plan are my picks and my backup plan. I did see that you thought that I was going to take somebody from the Rays. I can tell you that I am not.
Okay.
Do you want to just get into it now?
Let's go for it.
Not a problem that it's too early. Let me give everybody the stats as of right now because I am taking a downright beating. Emac currently in the lead in correct picks and dongs at 17. Jake also has 17 dongs, but 16 correct picks, got a double dong. Chris sitting at 13 dongs, 12 correct picks. I've got 11 dongs, 10 picks. I do have the least amount of picks made so far, so I'm not upset about that. But
how's your percentage?
Also dead last. Also dead last. I was going to try to hide that fact. So would you prefer to go first or second here?
I'll go first.
Okay,
that's fine. Spags does that, and then he gets to the part where I have to ask him. Yeah, Emacs made the most picks. Who has the best percentage?
Yes, like, also still you.
Matt Adams.
I typed it in before you even said it.
Was there any question? Hey, I went back and looked. I have taken Dan Vogelbach 7 times.
Oh, nice.
Chris, I took him once.
So you are in Matt Adams. Matt Adams is certainly a guy that I was looking at. He was my backup plan. I don't know if you have the same backup plan that is about to be my pick, but I wouldn't be surprised if you did. My pick for the home run, for the dong today, I'm trolling you, Juan Soto.
Good call.
I think we are both taking a left-handed bat from the Nats for the same reason. I don't get the sense that you would have been super upset with taking Juan Soto. Was he your backup pick?
He was third.
Or was it like Schwarber? Or I need to add like a weight column to my home run model.
Cover boy of the Spotlight Hitters and Stacks article I just dropped in chat, which, by the way, also has the link to the Spotlight Pitchers article written by Josh. We've got Brandon Belt as the cover boy.
Yeah.
And I'm sad he's no longer outfield eligible on DK because that would have been Belt, Soto, and Adams would have been a nice lineup.
Belt doesn't grade out super duper well for me in the home run model, but if you take a look deeper into Chassin splits in that park, I think I might be underrepresenting him a little bit, but I really like that Belt play. All right, have I walked down that? I don't know what I need to do to get less of these Blue Jays, but I need to figure it out. Stat, because they are everywhere.
On DK or on FanDuel?
FanDuel form. I haven't loaded in DraftKings yet.
Somehow I'm getting 20% of the Tigers.
That's a lot of Tigers.
That would be way more than I want. But I'm not getting any Blue Jays. So let's go look here. And this is why on the, since I do this a little more in the old fashioned way, I tend to, with my plays, start small with the percentages for my team stacks. Like 3 to 5% is where I started today for most teams, and then I started bumping up the teams I wanted a little bit more. It's easier going up than it is coming down. If you set everybody in at 10% or 15%, your entire teams are not even just going to come close to coming into your crunches. So did that help me with Toronto? No, it actually didn't. But I got one Toronto stack.
We have so many of these later games, still no Giants. And I have my DraftKings lineup, so here we go. This should be terrifying. I'm afraid to hit refresh here. Anytime that I feel like I've got my FanDuel exposures like pretty dialed into where I like them, I immediately refresh my DraftKings stuff, and it comes in sort of like the opposite, and I become very unhappy. But looks like Degrom is going to be that guy for me today. 63% on the first crunch. And then it's just kind of casting a wide net. 17 to Bieber, 15 to Greinke, 20 to Tanaka, 12 to Trevor Williams. So, like I said, that was about to get weird. But 7% Chassin. That's a number that I'm very happy about. Did get to a lot of Rays. Did not expect that. I might have to make a couple adjustments there. I think I have a little bit more than I would like. They're obviously in a fantastic spot. Eshelman in Baltimore. These Orioles aren't very good. Can we talk about Cashner to the Red Sox?
That was bizarre. Cashner's not bad. It was funny because he's being traded. He's got a sub-4 ERA now. And he's been pretty good the last 9 starts. But I don't know. I'm sure he'll be happy to have an offense behind him, and it's not like he's really pitching in a worse park than Camden Yards. He's still in the AL East, so that's really not helping him. So I viewed it as relatively a neutral move for the Red Sox.
Yeah. Hey, look, if you need an arm, you need an arm, I guess.
Yeah.
I just feel like there's got to be a different one out there other than Andrew Cashner. If I were the GM of the Orioles and they were like, "We want to know if Andrew Cashner was available," I would hope that I could get to the mute button fast enough before they heard me laugh. Yeah, I think we could part with him for the rest of this season. I'd be like, "Oh, what are you looking to offer?" Wouldn't even matter what the answer was. I mean, I'd want some chowder. What else is popular in Boston? I wouldn't need players or Dominican signing bonus money or anything like that. I would just be like, "Oh, what are some food products that you can ship down to Baltimore here?" We'll be fine. I've got a lot of Giants. Normally, I'd be very happy about that, but I'm a little concerned that I'm going to have to deal with it when they drop the lineup and remove like 3 dudes that I have 30% of or something crazy.
Yeah, it's the Alex Dickerson is what it's coming down to. He's been out with back spasms. He's left Friday's, I think it was Friday's. Yeah, Friday's game early. Sat yesterday. And then we'll see. He has been outstanding randomly. Guess he needed a change of scenery, shall we say, coming from the Padres. Where is my little notes on him? He is, let's see, 4 home runs and 15 RBIs in his 17 games with San Francisco. Pretty good.
Wait, hit me with that again. What were the numbers on the home runs?
4 home runs, 15 RBI in 17 games. Not those were not all in San Francisco while he's been on the team.
Sure. But
they had the Arizona series, and then they've been on. This is their second road trip since he's been with them.
Anything weird coming out in your exposures?
No.
Well, trying to get my lineups in now so we could take some questions. So I tamped down. Yeah, I tamped down a few teams. So Philly and the Nats and Tampa Bay are my top 3 stacks. Philly, the Nats, and Tampa Bay. I have no issues whatsoever. Rays, Phillies, Nats, 1, 2, 3 for me today. So. Great minds. Matt
Adams coming in at 12%. I'll take it. I'm going to bump that up a little bit because, he's Matt Adams.
You should bump up Juan Soto because he's the actual Nat that's going to dong today.
I have 8% of Juan Soto. I probably need a little bit more.
Yeah, you should have 80. Just because I have christened him the Dong King today. The second half is mine. Let's just put that out there right now. I'm coming for blood. during the second half. I will catch you. Let it be known.
There will be blood.
There will be blood. I never saw it.
I haven't either, but whatever.
I assume I would enjoy it.
Yeah, I don't watch movies very much anymore.
Are you Adam?
No. I just haven't seen new ones.
I always feel like that's the case, and then I realize that my wife and I end up watching just about everything. All right, FanDuel lineups are being uploaded as we speak. DraftKings lineups about to be uploaded. And then we're going to have a lot of time to take questions until that Giants lineup comes out, and I immediately have to make all sorts of changes to everything that I've already done. Those are the fun days. Maybe they'll play a completely different 9-man roster. Change the pitcher and everything. All right. DraftKings is in. Smells like a mini-max win. Has to happen eventually. Or maybe it doesn't. Who knows? All right. DK lineups in. FanDuel lineups in. Let's start getting questions in. That's what we need now. I'm feeling good. Sundays are easy. If they're going to get lineups in so early, I mean, we had everything but the Giants before we even started. Now we wait.
Nolan Arenado is not in for those of you playing the.
Oh, good info.
Slate. I believe. I was just skimming. I'll double check that. Yeah, Nolan Arenado not in. Mole horrible against lefties, like almost all Cincinnati pitchers are. Here's
Did you say Tyler Mahle?
Tyler Mahle.
I didn't look at anything for the later game. So yeah, hit everybody with some later slates thoughts.
All right. So we had, when I wrote this, it was a 14.2 implied run total. It has since dropped with Arenado being out and Ramal Tapia leading off. They just dropped to 13.5, shedding tears, but oh well. Mahle has faced 444 lefties since the beginning of last year. He has also faced 444 righties.
Wow.
Fun with numbers.
Yeah, that's always good.
Against righties, he's awesome. 295 WOBA, 133 ISO, 25% strikeout rate, and a 5.1% walk rate with a 50% ground ball rate. Against lefties, 400 WOBA, 270 ISO, 12% walk rate, decent 22% strikeout rate. Gives up so much power. He's like Desclafani, Cingrani, all of the.
You mean every other Reds pitcher?
Yeah, every other Reds pitcher not named Luis Castillo. So that one's interesting. On the other side, Antonio Senzatella has a 4.8 xFIP over his last 800 batters faced with a 160 ISO to lefties and a 184 ISO to righties. Walks almost 10% of them, strikes out 15%. So Puig, Suarez, Winker, and Avato would be the guys I want. And Puig is not in the lineup either.
Wow. Why is Marcus Stroman 8,200 on DraftKings? That's craziness.
Strikeout upside against the Yankees, even though he's a ground ball pitcher in the DK algorithm.
Projected for 8.9 fantasy points by Alex.
Wow, that's
less than Tyler Beatty by a lot. Jordan Zimmerman territory more than anything else.
I actually really enjoy Alex's projections. He doesn't muck around with them.
Mm-mm.
I mean, there are definitive stands within it.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Based on his thoughts, which is, hey, wait for it. By the way, how you can be pretty good at this is if your stuff works out and it's different from other people, it helps.
Yeah, it's a fantastic product. If you're a member of the site and not using his projections, you're definitely doing it wrong. That's for sure.
Yeah. What are we doing for football on air meeting? Who's running projections? Will it be the Alex again?
I assume so.
Cool.
I don't truly know, but I assume that it is. I can't imagine that it's not.
Yeah, I don't think it will. I would not imagine otherwise.
What else can we touch on? So I guess I'll hit on some of my my exposures relative to the field. I've got a lot of Blue Jays, and that's not something that I was truly expecting. Maybe we can dig into that a little bit.
Sure.
Figure out why I'm crazy, or maybe I'm not crazy. I mean, it's not as if I want to target Masahiro Tanaka. I have him as a pitcher twice as much as the field, so I think it's more of just targeting this game. New York, big time hitters park. There's plenty of power in the Blue Jays lineup, even if it's not this particular Blue Jays lineup. Still, some Gurriel has pop. Biggio has enough pop for a second baseman. Vlad Guerrero, obviously, who we know at this point, has some pop. I like Justin Smoke here. Randall Grichuk only hits solo dongs. Danny Jansen, if you're looking for a relatively cheap catcher option, depending on which site that is. Another guy with pop. Teoscar pop. I kind of like this Blue Jays team if they're completely unowned. On DK, no one has a projected ownership greater than 2. Do you have any interest in the Blue Jays?
No, I really don't. And
that makes me feel better. Thanks.
Normally I would get some. I'm literally on my 4-4s. I got 4 out of 100 lineups with Toronto.
Wow. Okay.
So not. Well, let's even go. Let's go see who it is. Vlad, Lourdes Gurriel, Freddie Galvis, and Justin Smoke are the common threads. Only one Danny Jansen. 2 Sogard.
Okay. Sogard and Gurriel are my 2 least. Gurriel, 5,600 today. Don't have much Gurriel. Have a little bit more Biggio. But I've got all these guys in like the 6 to 10% range. I kind of like that spread if nobody's going to be there. I wish that I had more confidence in that play. 153 X ISO to lefties, 167 X ISO to righties for Tanaka over the past 2 years. Take my chances. I'll take my chances.
You ready for the Giants lineup? It's going to pop in a second. I don't see it yet.
I see it. Ugh.
Is Dickerson in?
Nope.
Fudge.
Only I didn't say fudge.
You said the queen mother of them all?
Yeah. The D word. The F dash 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 word.
Oh, shit. 14.
Okay, so Belt.
You know what? We've got time just to do this all over.
I know we do, but I don't want to. So no Posey either. Sandoval is in. Solano is, yeah. I mean, that's 3. There are 3 different guys in this lineup. I gotta blow it all up. Thank you very much. I can't. Brian Sabian? Is he still the general manager of the Giants? I can't remember anymore. I don't think that he is. That's probably been 10 years at this point. Oh, that's just not fun. I'm anxious to see how far they tumble when I put their new lineup in. It's going to be pretty bad, I think.
So Belt leading off is nice. Steven Vogt instead of Posey.
So 1, 2, 3, 4. They have 5 lefty bats in there.
Oh, Pablo Sandoval.
Pablo Sandoval's 4,700 today, eh? Cool. What year is it?
Kevin Pillar, Yaz.
This is just annoying.
No Austin Slater. Boy, this is a major lineup turnover.
Yeah, so I'm going to paste it in now. I could let you know what changes. Belt, Posey, Longoria. Nope, that didn't paste at all. Now it did. Because I could see, once I click the refresh button on my pivot table, I could see like the aggregate change to the Giants. So the Giants were... Ooh, they've gone up in ranking for me. I had them with a total opportunity of like everybody added together 58.2% total target score. Not that that's the way that you do this, but it helps for visualization purposes. When I refresh, jumps to 60.4. So this lineup actually, in my opinion, is a better lineup for rostering Giants hitters than they had previously. So thanks, Giants. I actually appreciate that you did it.
Was that Brandon Crawford really pushing it?
At this point, I don't know. Steven Vogt probably helping a lot at 3,800.
Yeah. Crawford's 34 on DK at shortstop.
So now we re-crunch. The good news is it's a 9-game slate, and that crunches pretty quickly. If you guys want to get questions in at this point, I can easily answer and do both of these things at the same time. Lock is 105, correct? We've got
105.
19 minutes to do this. We could do this in our sleep. Oh god, if I started crunching lineups in my sleep, I would be sad. I feel like that's the time where I need to break free from the computer. I'm excited for when like this becomes VR and I just put the goggles on and like there's some digital me moving stuff around like Minority Report. Can't wait.
Oh boy, yeah.
I can't wait. It's gonna be fantastic. I guess I should wait until we get updated ownership, which I would assume would be in the next minute or two. Are we getting any good questions in?
Let's see. Favorite cheap stack? I'd still say the Giants at this point.
Because it depends on the site. I mean, getting that leverage on Chassin is massive, I think. I mean, honestly, it's probably the Rays. The most expensive Ray on DraftKings is Kiermaier at 4,700. Only 3 guys above 4K. I mean, that's why they're 20-something% owned as well, because they're incredibly easy to fit in. Phillies are cheap. Most expensive Philly, $4,200 Jay Bruce. I mean, these guys are priced like they're on like DraftKings prices are like FanDuel's prices today. It's kind of nuts. And then you get teams like the Nats where it's $5,200 Turner, $5,400 Rendon, $5,200 Soto. That's what makes the Rays so popular. They're bargain basement. And they shouldn't be because they're better than that. Oh, man. All right. I think I might need to just start crunching either way.
All right. From Premium Chat, they're asking for some discounted options. It's going to be the Rays. Yeah. Austin Meadows at 44, not discounted, but he's grading out phenomenally. Joey Wendell, 32. He's batting 8th. Don't worry about that. Zunino batting 9th. Don't worry about that. He got his home run from the 9-hole spot the other day. Mm-hmm. I think Bryce Harper at 41 is reasonable. I think Schwarber at 4,000 is reasonable. I like Robel Garcia at 3,000. So there's a variety of guys coming in at different positions that are pretty cheap.
I mean, Jay Bruce is the most expensive.
Lucas Duda, if he's going to do something, it would be against Jordan Zimmerman.
For sure. I mean, Jay Bruce is only 4,200, 9% ownership. It's the second lowest ownership number on the Phillies. 4,200 is really not that bad for what he would bring you if it was a decent Jay Bruce day.
All right, we've got projections updated. I will load those. I will run again.
I'm waiting until 12:50 hits on the count or on the clock before I run the crunch, just in case we get ownership in that time.
Let's see. Brewer stack ? Sure, why not? Beatty's not awesome. Can you really trust Beatty with his eyes?
You proud of that one?
I've run that out there and nobody's got it, but I knew you would.
I'm surprised I haven't made that joke.
Yeah, Adam and Jake, just they don't know.
I'm there for it. I'm right there for it. Okay, might as well just run the crunch.
He's good with the wordplay too. So,
all right, DraftKings copy in. And upload. I'll let ownership do the trick once I get everything back. See, I knew it was too good to be true. I knew that feeling like I was ready was not going to be helpful because here we are once again, and I feel like I'm scrambling. The good news is it'll move relatively quick. That's really all that matters. Are you recrunching as well?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I started everything over.
Yeah, smart. Look, when you know you have the time, it's really in your best interest to not be lazy about it because there are so many times where I've legitimately been lazy about it And there's just no reason. Not on a day like today. If it's 15 games, I probably try to make my adjustments a little bit differently. But on a 9-gamer, when you know that this crunch can run as quick as it is, there's no reason to not go back and do the correct work. There's too much time. Now, would I prefer to have a 110 start at this point? Yeah, I would. Yeah. This will make this process a little bit easier. But I can't not just go for it now. Hell, I clicked crunch a little bit ago on DK. It's basically already done my first 150. This is going to happen even easier than I was expecting. 150 and 150. FanDuel takes a little bit longer, but that's what happens when you got to make 154 fourths. Those pieces don't fit together as easy.
No, even with that flex utility spot and the catcher first base spot, it still chugs along.
Yes, it does. What else do we have here?
So here's another little fun trick. If you know you're pressed for time in these things, run a 4-3.
Yeah.
Don't try to do a 4-4 or on FanDuel or DK, or run a 5-2 instead of 5-3. It goes much faster.
100%. A really good tip. And look, crank the randomness a little bit too. We'll move a little bit faster for you. All right, I've almost got DK done. FanDuel, on the other hand, taking a little bit of time. So, yay!
I'm back to 22% Homer Bailey. Darn you!
There you go. That sounds like it should be fine. You won't hate yourself for it. Just a guess. I never get Homer Bailey right, so he's kind of like my kryptonite.
I had some good ones with him when the weather was cooler. He's very scary in the hot weather there.
Yeah, he is. All right, FanDuel, 150 more. DK, probably almost done. Yeah, we're getting there. Kiermaier, Dub D. I don't know what that means. There's Dub D, a person. Oh, Dub D, I guess, is a person.
Wendell? Is it Wendell?
Yeah, I understand now. I understand. Let's see, how many people we have in here right now? Everybody should hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Guess what our peak was today?
875.
812. Hell of a guess, though. I wanted you to be like, I don't know, 615. Just so that we could... I could be like, no. We're way cooler than that. Almost done DK crunch. Still have 12 minutes to go. Feeling pretty good now. I hope I get more Giants now. Although I already had 2x the field of the Giants before this. So ownership is updated, by the way. It just came in. So if you're looking to get an ownership update, we just got that uploaded. Everybody that needs ownership, it's there as of 1 minute ago. 12:53 it went up. Surprise, surprise. Jake Degrom, still massively owned. Could not have seen that coming.
Where is he at now? 50?
He is 51 on DK, 35 on FanDuel.
I'm good with that. Oh, I wanted to make that comment on FanDuel. Today, I don't see a reason to go with anybody but Degrom. Yesterday, we did a lineup on there and just real quick and did a Mariners, Rockies, Reds stack, but I only had enough money left for Matt Harvey.
Okay.
So I went that route, even though I had Vogelbach and Narvaez. Now, it didn't work out, but we talked a little bit about how if you don't know who the best pitcher is, sometimes just the price is okay. And Harvey, I was laughing, saying I didn't think I said there was an outside chance he'd qualify for the win and no chance he'd get a quality start. But he went into the sixth. I think he had like 5 1/3 or something.
Okay.
So he went longer than I would have expected. But you never know what's going to happen. But today, Degrom, could he get his ass kicked like he did last time the situation came up? Sure, but probably not.
Yeah, I expect him to have a perfectly acceptable day today. Why in the world do I have so many Tigers? Good God.
That's where I was not that long ago.
Made me think that I was typing numbers in the wrong columns there for a second. Okay.
I finally just knocked it back.
Yeah, I just did the same thing. Still have them. I can't get away from them. But they're sure as hell trying. And then Unsurprisingly, still having a ton of Blue Jays. Doesn't seem like I'm going to be going a different direction there today. But I'll go with it, I guess. It's going to have to work. DK Crunch, finite. Sort and load. We'll export this FanDuel Crunch when I'm done. One last crunch to go. Plenty of time. This is easy. Still have 10 minutes to go. Any thoughts on Verlander today? Is he pitching today?
We don't have that game, but yeah. Yes. Is he?
No, they're on the...
All of a sudden.
I don't know. I don't look at any of that slate, so you would know more than I would.
Yeah, he is. It's Ariel Hirado, which surprised me because I was like, "What? We don't get to go against Hirado," but we don't have that. I'm sad that we don't. It's kind of annoying.
Sure.
Because they really are ignoring the 3 o'clock games, and they're the 2 best games. Because they don't even have them on the sub slate, which is.
I'll never understand the decisions that get made for this.
No.
It just makes so little sense so often.
You've got to be talented to take 2 different companies with unicorn billion-dollar valuations and run them into low 200 million. I mean, that's talent.
I mean, it's something. It's something for sure. All right, refreshing FanDuel now. DraftKings is already uploaded. Feeling good. Bailey seems to be becoming chalky. Is that true? I don't think that's true.
Where is he?
He is currently 14. I mean, I guess. I mean, really, the only person that is chalky is Degrom. You can make an outside case for Chassin just because of how different his price point is, but nobody else is chalky.
No.
Not today.
When you're on 1 in 10 lineups, you're not chalky.
No, you're not. Ooh, that is a healthy amount of Giants on FanDuel. Ooh-wee. Let's see if I can get a little bit more on DraftKings as well. I certainly could I can afford to take a little bit less on FanDuel. Let's see where we end up. I'm ready to just sweat some baseball today. I hope I have the opportunity. Best laid plans, I think.
Something along those
lines. Some may say. Yeah, I've got just a staggering amount of Giants on FanDuel. And honestly, I've never been more proud of myself. That looks good. I can walk back that Blue Jays as per usual. I feel like I keep saying the same thing over and over again, but every time I open up the tab, it's just Blue Jays aggregate 14, public 1.5. Just a lot of Jays, man. A lot of Jays. Okay. So I'm basically fading the Royals. I'd love to get your thoughts there. They are one of the 4 most owned teams across both sites, and I, for all intents and purposes, don't have them.
That's bold move, Cotton.
I agree. Makes me a little nervous. But trying to play the leverage game a little bit more today. And there's not a lot of leverage to be had on the opposite side of that Royals game, that's for sure. Surprise, surprise, he's not getting much ownership. Couldn't have seen that one coming. Anything interesting coming from you from your updated crunch?
Not as much Giants as I would have liked. I'm going to have to go rectify that. So I've saved a few lineups where I will just run 20 of the Giants.
I think I just pasted FanDuel lineups into DraftKings. I do that all the time. It's so annoying. And I try to upload it and then it tells me I'm wrong. I'm like, what do you mean I'm wrong? You're wrong. When am I wrong? And then I realize that it's exactly what I did. I look back at the sheet. I'm on the FanDuel sheet. I've got 152 FanDuel lineups copied.
Oh, shoot. I didn't have Stephen Vogt unchecked. That's why I'm not getting him.
You have me really nervous that I don't have any Giants now on DraftKings.
Did you go uncheck? Did you put in Solano and Vogt?
Nope. I have 0, both of them.
That would be why.
Moving too quick. Moving too quick. Oh, well. Pray for them on FanDuel. FanDuel, I have them. Actually, I don't even know if that's true. I think I do, though, if I have so much of them. Yeah, 20% vote on FanDuel.
So you're fine.
Yeah, I'll get there. I'm clearly not going back to fix it again, so that ship has sailed. All right, 150 in. And then 150 in again. And again. Now I'm just ready for lock. I'm tired of doing this.
Yeah. It's fun for a moment, but
I was hoping we would get more questions there.
I know. I think maybe other people are scrambling. And some people are like, oh, we just watch you guys do this. This is what you want to see. This is for the number of questions I have to answer for people on how do I use Fantasy Cruncher? How do I do this? When do I do that? What do I do with this? This is what you want to watch. This is how the sausage is made. It's not very glamorous, but watching people go through, especially during NBA, the reactions and changing stuff, baseball to a lesser extent, but you see how we're shaping our player pool, how we're doing our stacks. We run it. Let me go look. I have run 41 crunches today.
There you go.
To get it to where I wanted it to be. And this is how it's done.
Yeah.
Are there more automated ways? Yeah, that's what Josh, Jake, and Adam do, but they still, like the little hiccup you had on DK, that stuff's going to happen. I mean, there's
for sure
so many moving parts here that we just don't all, that we make little mistakes or don't see things, and it happens. All right, here's my pitching overall. So 53 Degrom, 38 Alcantara, 20 Homer Bailey, 18 Tanaka, 17 Greinke, 10 Adam Wainwright. Wow. 9% Chacin, 10% Biebs, 10% Quintana. Everybody else is 5. Oh, 4 total lineups with Jordan Zimmerman.
I have more than that.
JT Real Muto is my number one catcher, followed closely by Mike Zunino at 16 and 14%, because I didn't have Stephen Vogt there. Let's see. First base, Yeeman Choi and Brandon Belt and Matt Adams.
Yeah.
Set Matt Adams. Probably could have used some more of that.
I don't have nearly as much Juan Soto as I would like to have for when he hits that home run.
Because when I went and redid my recrunches, oh God, do I have any Juan Soto? I have 6% Juan Soto.
Okay. I have 5.
I have 30% Austin Meadows and 30% Tommy Pham.
That seems reasonable.
And those are coming in because they were popping, particularly Meadows, were popping when I ran 5-0s and 4-0s. So you want to go back and see what's going on, your lineups and such. So yeah, I'm good with that. Would have liked a little more Nats, but I'll live with it.
I ended up with absolutely 0 Marlins.
Yeah, I don't think I had any.
I don't need that kind of leverage.
There's too many other offenses today.
Yeah, agreed. 25 seconds, guys. If you don't have your lineups in yet, you better hustle. Stop listening to me talk. So, let's see. Top overall stacks for me. Total exposure. Rays, Phillies, Indians, Cubs, Nats, Giants, Blue Jays, Brewers. Only legitimate heavy fade today is the Royals. Most of that is just because of Zimmerman not getting any ownership on the opposite side.
Again, this is a math exercise these days.
It is. And I had the Royals as my 9th rank stack, so I'm rarely concerned if there's a chalk team at that spot or below, and I'm not there. That's usually something that I'm kind of interested in. If I can concentrate my ownership closer to the top of the teams that I like and still get the pitching that I think is best, which is what I'm doing today. I've got most of my top rank stacks and, 111% of Degrom, Bieber, Greinke. 126 if I add Tanaka. So, I feel like I'm getting the best of both worlds. I feel like I'm getting the pitching and the hitting today. We're about to find out, though, because we're locked. Yeah,
this is much different than it was yesterday. Yesterday, I came in 30% of Coors Field, and the hailstorm kind of caught me off guard. It was like in the upper 80s there yesterday, and then they had hail on the field.
That's craziness.
The Rocky
I saw
Mountain.
nothing yesterday. I really step away on Saturdays.
I don't think their game even started till after 10 o'clock. I think it was like 10:30 maybe.
I think I was asleep at that point.
Yeah.
Well, I went to sleep whenever the UFC card ended, which was a real travesty of a viewing experience. Thumbs down for that. Touts took a beating on that one too.
No flying knee kick with 5 seconds.
The 2 flash knockouts in the 2 final fights. It was the shortest. I'm almost positive that I read it correctly, that it was the shortest semi-main event and main event in the history of the UFC, and the shortest since some Dan Henderson fight from like 8 years ago. Yeah, they both real quick.
Yeah,
2 minutes apiece or something in that neighborhood.
Frank Dukes is my favorite.
Who?
Frank Dukes.
I don't know who that is.
Kumite.
Nope. I don't know that word either.
Bloodsport.
Oh,
Jean-Claude Van Damme.
I haven't seen it in so long. I had a buddy that loved that movie when we were growing up.
I watched that so many times. My brother and I watched that over and over.
It's been a long time. I might have to watch it again. It's been so long that that didn't even register. I probably haven't seen it in 15 years. Easy. It's hard. I mean, it used to be on cable a lot, so you'd be able to catch it all the time. I haven't had cable in a decade, so the ability to just like Shawshank Redemption. Mm-hmm. That's a movie that I think I've seen from the middle on 500 times because it would be on TBS or TNT or whichever channel it was constantly. Now it's just like if you don't catch movies in the middle anymore if there's no cable. You're either watching it or you're not.
Yeah, I guess that's pretty true. About the only time I go is get any random movies is like after, but the big games have been going so late. Like even last night, I was like, told my wife, like, oh yeah, I should be in bed early. Last game's going to start at 9. It's the one I want to watch. I want to see the Mariners. Nope. 2 a.m. I get up this morning. She's like, you better not be grumpy. I'm like, what? She's like, you dumbass. She's like, didn't you go to bed at 7 on Thursday? Yeah, that was me.
That's long gone. All right, I think we're done. Hit the like button before you leave. Subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell so you can get notified of all of our other stuff. Emacs just bailing. He didn't even want to listen to me give the end of it. Hey, welcome back to Emac. I guess he didn't want to hang out for the end of the show. I get it. It's fine.
I was moving stuff to my other monitor and I clicked the X instead of the tab.
You know the spiel. You've heard it before. You can get out early if you need to. We'll be back to normal starting tomorrow. We get a full week of baseball. All-Star break is over, and we'll get right back to our normal content. What does Summer League look like today? When does that lock?
Think 6 o'clock.
Let me make sure. NBA Classic, 6 o'clock. Yeah, so I expect we'll see Fast Eddie around 5 o'clock. I believe this will be the last day. That makes sense? Tomorrow, the last day of Summer League?
I thought it was tomorrow. I had 15th in my head. This is like, they were calling this something like championship weekend or...
Right. I think this is the semifinals and tomorrow's the finals. But yeah, I guess tomorrow will be the last day. So tune in to Eddie if you have our Summer League package. Tune in at 5 o'clock. Link be hidden. Not joining in for everybody. We locked it down. Emac, anything else?
Office hours at 3. We'll talk to late slate. I didn't blaze through the late slate, but you can get my thoughts in there. I've written up 2 of the 3 o'clock and the 4 o'clock games, 1 each, in spotlight hitters and stacks, so you can read about it there as well.
There you go. I'm going to jump in the pool, everybody, so enjoy the rest of your Sunday. I'll talk to you later.